It's really fun doing all these parts that Shane wrote for us. We ended up playing a bunch of horn parts. Of course, there's bass parts and solos. But the era of the bass is here. We jokingly say, which I don't believe is a joke, bass, the new guitar. There's just all sorts of innovations going on, and Shane has stepped up and he's decided to write a whole bunch of music with a whole bunch of basses playing some pretty challenging parts and a lot of register. You know, this is sort of simplistic, but one can say the bass ain't just thumping along on the bottom end anymore. You can see the music and hear it for yourself. I'm really proud to be a part of this, and I'm convinced that what we're doing here is somewhat monumental, meaning it will be when everybody down the road says, hey, I want to do 4 and 5 and 6 and 8 bass bands. I don't think it's as far-fetched or as crazy as it sounds, because we're playing music, and what I mean by that is dynamics, articulation, phrasing, a lot of different instruments, a lot of different ranges. And interesting enough, the bass is capable of doing that. We can cover the bass range, the harmonic comping range, and the soloistic range. Of course, we've got some extended range basses, some low Bs and high Cs, even some high Fs, but it really all comes down to just the quality of music, and Shane's been writing great music, and then of course the quality of execution. I like to say that bass players can be musicians too.
Yeah, this has been a really fun project, and like so many projects that we do, they just sort of unfold, and as Shane is adding parts and parts, more parts to the piece, they all make sense, because sometimes that I've learned many years ago not even to even think about that, but it's always fun to watch the pieces grow from like, where's that going, I wonder, and then it's like, oh, that's where it's going, because we add more and more basses. And I've never worked with so many bass players and so many bass parts on songs, and it works great, because as Jim said, they cover lows, highs, mids, solos, melodies, harmonies, and Jim left out percussion. Lots of times bass is really percussion. And in addition to that, the number of and awesomeness of some of the bass players in this project is just astounding. It's been a really fun project.
Well, it's been a real pleasure writing all this music, mostly because I know that great bass players are going to be playing the parts. And in an all-bass band, a lot of people sort of snicker because they imagine the the guy in the back of the band going thump, 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 thump. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you get a lot of virtuistic bass players together, you can make some incredible music that's not possible with any other group of instruments. And that, to me, is the most exciting part about this project. And I'm just really happy to be doing it.
My good friend Michael Manring said once that he thought the bass was so well positioned and so unique because of the ability to draw different sounds from the instrument. Obviously, we mentioned low, high, and in between, but the timbres from the instrument, and if you think about it, the electric basses are acoustic instruments. You can hear them. So we've got such a possibility of timbres and colors based on how electric we make them sound, how acoustic we make them sound, how loud, how quiet, and then of course we use some effects, really minimally. But I agree, this is the sort of the era of the bassist, because there's just endless possibilities. Lots of guys are doing solo bass gigs these days, and they're not boring, they're great fun. So again, I'm convinced that we're on the cutting edge of some just tremendous music and a whole wave that's going to come down the road. Bass.